All right, so let me show you this level of general solutions. So if we have something like this, we have to make whatever is inside, usually whatever is inside the angle, right? The whole thing is like an angle. So whatever is inside sine, cos, or tan, the subject of the formula whenever we've got a number here. So how do we make this the subject? We use the inverse, right? So we'll say arc sine root 2 over 2, and then you'll get your reference angle to be 45. So now this is what you do. Whenever you have this, do not solve for x here, right? Don't solve for x. You must make sure you first put it into the general solutions before solving. So don't solve for x. You're not allowed to say x is equals to 45 plus 55, which would give you 100. You'll get the answer wrong at the end. So what do you do? So with sine, where is sine positive? Of course, sine is positive where it's x equals to reference angle plus k 360, and k is an element of integers. And then x is also positive where x equals to 180 minus cos the second quadrant, reference angle plus k 360, and k is an element of integers, right? So now let's substitute. So in this case, you'll pretend as though the whole thing, so you'll pretend as though whatever is in your left hand side is x and whatever is in your right hand side is reference angle. That's what you'll do. So let's pretend as though this is x. So in place of x, that's what I'm going to put, x minus 55. Not that you must write down the formula. There's no need to write down the formula. You can just substitute straight. So in the first quadrant, it's just reference angles. Whatever is on the right becomes my reference angle. K is an element of integers. Now here I solve. So when I take this to the other side, it's going to be 45 plus 55. It becomes 100. In this case, we might say it's the same as if we solved here, but in this equation, it will not be the same as if you solved here first before putting it. So, okay, this is k 360, and of course, k is an element of integers. Now let's substitute this into the second one. So with the second one, x minus 55 is equals to 180 minus 45. You see, in this case, it will not be the same as if you solved for x before substituting it. So do not solve for x before substituting it. So now this is k 360, and k is an element of integers. So now this becomes 180 minus 45, which is 135. 135 plus 55, that should be 190. You can verify that. So k 360, so k is an element of integers. So there we've got our two equations, right? We've got this one and we've got this one. So the simple thing is, whenever you've got something there, just pretend as to whatever is in your left hand side is your x and whatever is in your right hand side is your reference angle. Just before I continue, if you want to be tutored, either online or physically, online, it doesn't matter where you are or which country you are at, you can still be tutored. So we offer cheap online lessons, and if you want to be tutored physically, we can still make an arrangement. So call or WhatsApp this number, but preferably please WhatsApp this number, and then we will take it from there. So what I do is that I tutor people 5 days a week online, and I give tests once a week so that I can check your improvements. Here is another example of it. So with this particular example, we don't need to find the reference angle. Whenever we have sine this equals to sine this, it just means whatever is inside must be the same as whatever is inside on the right. You see, so for both of them to be the same, whatever is inside the brackets must be the same. So it therefore means that 2x plus 45 must be equals to 90. And then we take whatever is on the left hand side as though it's x, whatever is on the right hand side as though it's our reference angle. So this, we'll put it in place of x. I'm not writing down a formula. I assume that you know it by now. So x plus 45 is equals to our reference angle plus k 360. All right, then when I take this to the other side, it becomes 2x is equals to 90 minus 45, which is 45 plus k 360. Okay, of course, k is an element of integers. And then now I need to make x a substitute formula. So what do? I divide both sides by 2. If I divide both sides by 2, I will end up having x is equals to 45 divided by 2 is 22.5 plus k 180. So this also divides by 2. Whenever we take things to the other side, this does not get affected, but when we divide or multiply, this does get affected. So k is an element of integers. Then let me substitute into the second one. So 2x plus 45 is equals to 180 minus. So 180 minus what? Minus this stuff, the reference angle, plus k 360, and k is an element of integers. So now this becomes 180 minus 90 is 90. Okay, this eventually leads to the same thing in this particular situation. So this is still 180 minus 90 is 90. I take this to the other side, it becomes 45 again. So in other words, we'll just have one equation. You can even verify it. So when I divide, I'll still have the same equation. So I can just write it once. But yeah, it's one and the same thing, right? This equation and this equation. So that's how you solve for this stuff. So be sure to watch the first video where I tell you the basics before watching this one. And if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel so that you can get more things like this. And if you've got a question, comment below.